Keep talking, Kano.
Okay. I will keep on talking about Super Metroid and Reverse Boss Order and
Murphy's
fun
Law.
little glitches and Murphy's Law. Well, hey, at least it's happening now and not during the run, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Because, you know...
Are we good?
You never know what could happen. Your capture card could magically get fried.
Okay, cool.
Alright.
Really sorry about that. Murphy's Law, you know. Notifications just really wanted to come through. They're like, we just really want to be a thing right now. I was like, not during the charity stream, yo. Alright, so yeah. I am ShinyZeni. We have Kano co-commentating with me on this run because doing it myself would probably not be a very good idea.
Yeah, commentating this run and running it at the same time sounds nearly impossible. Anyway, yeah, so this is going to be Reverse Boss Order in Super Metroid, which is you fight Ridley first, and then Dragon, and then Phantoon, and then Kraid, which is the reverse of the what most people consider the intended order.
Are we good to start?
Yep, you guys are good to go.
Okay.
All right. And here we go.
So yeah, just like any other run, we start off in Ceres Space Station. We just have to clear this and get onto Planet Levis before we can do anything else, so...
Yep, and Zeni is guaranteed to get a 47 here, so just watch out for that.
Yeah. Second one ever.
Yeah. Yeah, so Zeni will take as much damage as quickly as possible from Ridley. Once you're below 30 health, he'll swoop in and grab, or he'll fly off with the baby Metroid. And yeah, we need to take damage as quickly as possible because we're trying to speedrun here. Alright, let's see what Ceriam has in order for you.
Double steam.
Ooh, yeah. That's, unfortunate. What a good D-boost.
It's a pretty good time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good time. So yeah, Zeni's gonna be starting out very similarly to most other Super Metroid runs, but pretty quickly he's gonna diverge. Right after he gets missiles, he's gonna attempt a trick called, well, he calls it Task Tank, because it was originally discovered by a couple of tool-assisted speedrun creators who are just trying to figure out how to get this tank as early as possible, and it's a triple frame perfect trick, meaning that you have to be able to hit 3 frame perfect inputs. One is a wall jump, or one is running speed. One is what is the second one? The wall jump?
Yeah, it's the continuous wall jump.
Yeah, and then the third one is yes. And then the third one is actually releasing your angled direction, and basically there's 1 pixel that you're able to actually touch this energy tank. And if all that didn't sound hard enough, in addition to that, there's only a 50% chance that you can actually get it because of the way that collision works in this game. In essence, collision works by alternating what tile Samus is touching at any given point, if you're touching more than 1 tile. So yeah, there's basically a 50% shot that he gets this, even if he gets all 3 frame perfect shots. So he's going to go for this for a couple of attempts, and hopefully he'll be able to get it.
Yeah,
'Cause it's a
we'll try to
really
get
awesome
it for, I don't know, probably minute and a half, 2 minutes, just to showcase. But if we take too long, then we'll just move on. If I get it in the first 10 tries or so, it will save time over having to come back and get it later, so...
And in your world record, you got it 4th try, if I'm not mistaken?
World record does not have it.
Oh yeah, world record doesn't have it. But was it with the run before that? There was a run where you had it
before that.
try.
I think it was 3rd try.
Okay. So yeah, basically, there's a pixel where Samus's shoulder can touch this energy tank.
Here we go.
And wow, that was
4th
very
try,
quick.
I think.
Yeah, that's a really, really good energy tank grab. You're freaking tasked, dude.
Yeah, it's hacks. This is not a vanilla version of the game. I'm totally modding wall hacks and stuff, you know?
Yeah, so if you get the trick first try, it saves, what, something like a minute?
It's like 40 seconds or
40
so.
seconds? Okay. But it's a really good time save. Uh-oh. Climb shaft, Zeni's favorite room in the game. Just kidding, it's no one's favorite room. So that was the first divergence from most other routes that you'll see. But there's going to be a few others, even in the early game.
Yep, stick around. It's about to get real. I will be running this at AGDQ in January. So if you want to see me totally fail, then tune in for that. It's going to be great.
So because Zeni was able to pick up some missiles, we're able to kill bomb trees a little bit faster, which is nice. It's just another little bit of a time save over, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, because usually you're out of missiles at the start of that fight. But since we picked up an extra missile tank when we were getting that energy tank, we ended up having 5 of them to start. So... So we're going to be going down to Green Brinstar next. The first section of the run, the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or so is all item collection. And the reason for that is that we need enough items to be able to survive Norfair going to fighting Ridley and coming out without any heat protection. So, you still there, Kano?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need enough energy tanks and super missiles in order to be able to deal with everything coming up. In addition to that, we're going to be picking up a reserve tank here, and only one reserve tank. That was one of the things that you actually were able to cut out of the run, is there was another reserve tank that most people would pick up, but because of some really precise movement, you're able to cut that one out and just barely be able to survive. So there's going to be a couple of tense moments in the run, but you know, that makes it fun.
Yeah, also, I won't be stopping to save anywhere because I have backup safety saves. So if I do happen to die at any point in the run, I'll be able to reload one of those and we'll be fine.
Alright, so this room is going to look very different from most other times you've seen this room. Zeni's going to be doing a trick called Moon Dance. So this was found by Snick, who is, again, a taster of Super Metroid. And Zeni's going to clip into these blocks here and start moonfalling over and over again. And what he's actually doing is moonfalling 176 times in order to build up enough fall speed to be able to clip through the floor in the room that we just came from. And what this does is it allows him to collect a couple of extra items. And it's allowing him to collect power bombs earlier and without having to backtrack anywhere. So it actually saves quite a bit of time. The room time is around 80 seconds, or a little bit less than that. But again, it's cutting out a ton of backtracking, which is really important. Yeah, and there's a bit of a copy pasta that people are posting in chat.
Okay, so that is Moondance. Clips us through the floor there. You can actually fall a lot further, a lot faster than that, but I missed the window to do that, so that's okay.
Yeah, there's what is it? 1 frame where you have to push down.
Yeah,
1 or 2 frames.
I'm not sure how wide it is. It doesn't feel frame perfect, but it's not free by any means.
Mm-hmm.
I got a pretty important donation for you guys that I just thought I'd read off.
Okay.
GFY Josh Apocalypse donated $20 for kill animals. So I can see where that bid war is at now. I think we're still saving them. Yeah, we have $452 to save them, and then we have $164 to kill them. So we still got a little more ways to go, but we got a little bit of time left, right?
So the entire reason we did Moondance was to grab these power bombs. Because normally you wouldn't be able to get down into this section without power bombs, so...
Yeah, I guess we should have mentioned those blocks that Zeni was able to clip through are actually power bomb blocks, as you can see that he just destroyed right there. So yeah, again, the next portion for the next few minutes is going to be a lot of item collection. There's going to be some energy tanks, charge beam, super missiles, a couple of other things.
So yeah, if we got any donations or whatever, feel free to read those off as they come through.
Especially read any that are for kill the animals.
Ponk would be so disappointed. I'll have to make sure to beat him in my race with him tomorrow. Butt crack at dawn.
Yeah, so next up here is another energy tank. Zeni's going to do a gate glitch here, where he's able to shoot a super missile up and basically eclipse through that gate.
Yeah, normally you'd need wave beam to get back here. But if you shoot the super missile at the right spot, it'll just clip through the wall and get it. We actually, we did that to get that previous super missile pack as well. Those are usually guarded by a spore spawn, but if you shoot a super missile from the right area, then you can just get in there without fighting him.
Yeah, there's a super missile block. Alright, so charge beam up next. Kind of important. Alright, so we're going to be going back here through a little bit of criteria soon. Yep. And fortunately, because Zeni got the energy tank earlier on, he isn't going to have to do any backtracking like he would have. So normally he would go to the right there if he didn't grab the tank, but fortunately he can just run back to the left and move on.
Got another donation that just came in, another important one from Wife of Zeni, $15. Kill the animals. I'm 35 weeks pregnant, very hungry, and I bought barbecue sauce.
Thank you.
So now Zeni gets to go down here. Again, because of Moondance, we can just come down Red Tower instead of going up Red Tower, which would normally lead to Alpha Power Bombs. And now we're going to be picking up Spazer.
So Spazer is actually really important for this particular route. It's what allows us to kill Ridley quickly enough with the other resources that we grab. The previous world record skipped it in favor of grabbing a bunch of missile packs. But when I timed it out, I realized that skipping the missiles and going for Spazer instead was actually faster. So
yeah, cutting out all that movement and the item fanfares makes a big difference.
Alright, we're a little low on health here. I'm not actually sure why.
Yeah, so coming up is the first hell run of the run, which Zeni's going to be going into to get Ice Beam. So he'll be taking heat damage the whole time. The Varia suit is locked behind Kraid, which is supposed to be the first boss in the run, but because this is reverse boss order, he's not even going to be able to get that until the end of the run. And even if he could, he's actually not going to pick it up, because at that point there's really no use for it. So there's going to be a bunch of spots like this where he's going to be taking damage, and you have to be really careful about how much health you have in all these spots. So that's Ice Beam, which is pretty much necessary.
Normally I'd go for a faster strat there, but since we're low on health, I played it safe and we bonked that gate as a result, which is too bad, but didn't want to die, so probably lost us about six seconds. Probably more than that, actually.
And next up is Kip's favorite item, high jump boots. So if you thought that segment was scary, then you're going to be in for a bit of a ride.
Dang it, man.
Oh no. So you have to kill the enemy in this room. Whoa, what was that? That was weird. You have to kill the enemy in this room because of this door. You can open it on the way in, but it's a little bit faster if you just kill him on the way out and then open the door. But yeah, missing him, it wastes a bit of time.
Yeah, I just wasn't paying attention. And so, like, normally I'd have power bombs pre-selected there, but they weren't, and paid the price, so.
Yeah, and you have to deal with that room in most runs, and it's never really fun. So yeah, this is another hell run. Zeni's going to be on his way to Speed Booster and Wave Beam. Oh wow, and oh! So Zeni was able to do a really tough trick, right side Bubble Mountain, and it saves a couple of seconds, but it's pretty tough. Yeah. But fortunately, there's a nice backup where you can just shoot the waver with Ice Beam and land on him as a platform. So this is the first farm of the run. There's going to be more of these throughout. They're very conveniently placed so that it seems like it was almost intended to be able to do this. But unfortunately, it's possible to lose a lot of time just because of getting bad RNG. So here you're looking to mostly fill up on energy, correct?
Yeah, so here I'm just getting enough energy that I'll be able to survive the rest of the hell run. Our next objective is to get down to Grapple Beam. And we use Grapple Beam for farming for the rest of the run after this. And this is the worst RNG I've had in a long time. There we go.
Ooh.
I think I got like 3 or 4 completely small energy drops there.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, a small energy gives you 5 health, and a large energy gives you 20 health, so the difference is pretty significant. Nice double chamber. I hate that room. It's so easy to fall in that room and lose a lot of time. And the other issue is that when you're doing a hell run, any missed movement is lost energy as well. So having clean movement doesn't just mean that you save time, it also means you save energy. And that in turn means that everything else becomes easier. You have more leeway when you're doing fights and things like that. So, oh, just barely missed the swag deboost. So next up is Crocomire. Unfortunately, you don't get to see him in a lot of runs, but hopefully they'll make quick work of him. Basically, you just push him back until he falls into the acid. And for a good Crocomire fight, you're looking to get nothing but him just opening his mouth. Sometimes he'll swipe at you, and that loses a little bit of time, like he did just at the end there. And what Zeni's going to do here is he's going to do a wraparound shot, and that'll open the door on the other side and just make it a little bit easier to get, a little bit faster to get through. Because he's going to be going to the left here to get to grapple.
Well, I didn't get the right position spike suit, but I still got a spike suit, so...
Nice.
Normally I wouldn't be going for this in a run, but because it's a showcase and for a couple other reasons, I figured I would. I can potentially save some time here with this spike suit, but that means I have to keep it. Kano, will you explain what a spike suit is?
Yeah, so a spike suit is a way of, in essence, storing a shine spark. I'm a little fuzzy on exactly what's happening, but I know that there's something about being in a crouch position, if I'm not mistaken. And what you do is you're able to take damage from spikes, and on the frame after you take damage, you want to unmorph. You have to be morphed when you take damage. The frame after you unmorph, and then 10 frames after that, you need to push jump. And if you do it correctly, then you'll be able to keep a shine spark stored in it. And what you can do with it is you can run around basically as normal, with the exception of if you do a straight jump. That is anything. If you do something that's not a spin jump, it can use the shine spark. Oh no!
Well, rip on that. Yeah.
So yeah,
go ahead.
That's what I was just explaining. Is if you do a jump without holding an angle down, then you'll actually use this spark. Or if you do, there's a couple of other conditions as well. But yeah, it's very easy to use just with some, with some accidental movement.
So I don't get
So
to...
Zeni's farming up to full energy here.
Don't get to show the swag, lava dive strat. It's okay though.
Yeah, that's a really tough strat though. Like there's like 3 or 4 other things that have to go right. Oh no.
Batting 1,000
Yeah,
right
there's.
now.
But yeah, in order to use that Shine Spark in the right spot, Zeni has to go through the next room, which is already tough to get through quickly. He has to go through that room without using it, which means he has to morph and then unmorph and then grapple, and then morph, then unmorph, then grapple, and it's crazy. So. Alright, so this is going to be the first tense moment in the run. Zeni's going to get pretty low on health. It's calculated, but it's still very precise, so... Oh, no. So there's, basically he has to wall jump off of the ledge there and get up and then do a crystal flash.
My reserve's activated in the worst possible position right there, and so I missed the wall jump there to get up, and I died.
Yep. So we have backup saves. And yeah, he'll be able to go for it again. But
it is required.
Yeah,
we can't continue the run until we get through this part. So,
and it's one of the. I mean, for most people, it's one of the harder parts of the run, if I'm not mistaken. Just because again, the movement has to be really precise. Most of Norfair is just really tough.
Right, and this seems like a good time to remind people too. We're still a little under $300 short of killing the animals. We're saving them at this point.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the reserve is activated in a bad place again.
So I actually, these backup saves have an extra... Oh, I just killed us again.
Oh no. You had too low energy to survive at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, basically at the bottom of this elevator, Zeni would be taking heat damage still, and you have to have a certain amount of energy in order to survive that, to be able to do a crystal flash, so... Is that just too low of energy to survive there? And yeah, what Zeni was saying is that there's...
I got my strats confused. Thought I was doing one thing and I was doing another. So, that's okay. It's alright.
But yeah, these safety saves have an extra safety in them. They have another reserve tank, which will just make everything a little bit more consistent, hopefully.
Yeah, it makes things a little easier. They also have an extra missile pack.
Yeah, and what that does is... on the way out from Ridley, you have to have enough missiles in order to do a crystal flash. I'll explain exactly how that works in a sec. But all of the enemies on the way out have a pretty low chance of dropping missiles, and unless Zeni has an extremely clean Ridley fight, he's not going to get any drops besides health from Ridley. So having that extra missile tank will make it just a little bit easier to... Oh, that was... Oh, no.
I haven't died on Lava Dive in, I don't know, a couple of weeks. So it's more of this Murphy's Law stuff going on. It's okay, though.
Yeah, but I mean... Lava Dive alone is a really tough strat, and you're actually doing a harder strat than most people do. Most people would pause in order to activate their reserves, and then obviously unpause and then continue on. But the pause and unpause wastes time, and in order to go faster, you can do Lava Dive in a certain way. But yeah, it's more precise movement. So
most people also turn off Speed Booster during the pause menu here, so they can do what's called a bounce ball, which is another easier strat to get through here.
But yeah, too many pauses. Who needs pausing?
Okay, that was good. Okay, we're not going down the elevator. Okay, so this is called a Crystal Flash. You want to explain Crystal Flash? You know?
So, in order to do a Crystal Flash, well, what are the inputs for it?
L, R, shoot, and down.
So basically, if you have 10 missiles, 10 supers, and 11 power bombs, and you do those inputs, Samus will be able, and you are below 50 energy, you have to also be below 50 energy. Samus will restore all of her energy, including her reserve tanks. And it's part of what allows this run to be possible. Zeni's going to use it multiple times while he's in Lower Norfair here, because pretty much every room here you need heat damage for. What Zeni just did there was called Green Gate Glitch. It's similar to the gate glitch that he did earlier, where he clips a super missile through a gate. That was unfortunately third try, so he's going to have to farm some extra supers here. But yeah, with Crystal Flashing, you need to have enough ammo, and that becomes a bit of an issue later on, where you have to be able to farm up for enough ammo. That'll happen right before Ridley, as well as a little bit after Ridley. There's also a few very conveniently placed energy refills.
Will you explain what Screw Attack does?
So Screw Attack...
Less informed.
Screw Attack, I don't remember the exact damage value, but if I remember correctly, it deals damage per frame, a lot of damage per frame, which allows you to just kill a bunch of enemies really quickly. It puts a hitbox all around Samus. And it'll allow Zeni... Zeni can't take any damage from most sources while he's using Screw Attack. There's a couple of small caveats to that. One is that when he's wall jumping, there's a couple of frames where he still is able to take damage because the Screw Attack isn't actually active. And in addition to that, Ridley's tail doesn't take damage from Screw Attack, and it'll actually go straight through Screw Attack. So. But yeah, it'll allow Zeni to basically just blast his way through most enemies in the game. It's extremely useful. And in addition to that, we go into Golden Terizo's room there to fight him and pick up his super missiles.
Which is also very important.
Yeah. Zeni's gonna need 20 super missiles going into Ridley in order to be able to survive the fight. That, as well as at least 2 power bombs, but ideally more for the way out. There's a lot of very specific ammo counts that he's going to need, as well as health.
Crap. That's close.
So yeah, the reason I mentioned that Zeni can take damage while he's using Screw Attack and wall jumping is because of this room. This is the worst room in the game. And that pirate that he just wall jumped past, that pirate was taking damage from the power bomb. But if Zeni was a little bit too slow and he was doing the wall jump... Uh-oh.
We're fine.
Uh-oh. Okay. So right there, you can actually see Screw Attack just going, basically granting Samus invincibility and going through a couple of those shots from those pirates. So that's just another place where it's really useful, is avoiding a lot of damage. Grabbing another energy tank here, as well as a bunch of power bombs. So, Zeni, how devastating is it to land on those spikes?
They do 60 damage. So, on the way in, it can literally kill you. And on the way out, it makes it very, very difficult to survive to Ridley. So we want to use iframes to get past those spikes, which is what we did.
Alright, so there's some movement here. And then he's going to go up against these metal pirates. And in order to kill them, he's going to use a Shine Spark. And the Shine Sparks, I guess it's when you do them, when you hit them against the wall, they emit echoes. And those echoes deal 4,096 damage per frame, if I remember correctly, which is a massive amount. So it just obliterates these guys, and you're able to kill them really quickly. And coming up here, Zeni's going to need to do some farming, and then another Crystal Flash right before Ridley. And then in order to get up to 20 Super Missiles, he's going to need to do even more farming. So this is a really good time if you have some donations to read out.
Yeah, perfect. I got one more that just came in. It's from Arison Chan. It's $20. Says, my parents live in Panama City and pretty much managed to somehow turn out well with Hurricane Michael, but that doesn't mean everyone did. Good luck, Zeni, and best wishes to those who have suffered hurricane damages from Tokyo. And that's going towards killing the animals. We're about $250 away from that now.
Nice, closing that gap. So yeah, what Zeni did there was he was just waiting and taking damage in order to get low enough to be below 50 health. And that was the first Crystal Flash on the way into Ridley, and then again he's going to be doing one on the way out. And right now he's just farming up to get 20 Super Missiles and as many missiles as he can get, regular missiles as he can get.
Yeah, we are.
The way the Ridley fight... Yeah. The way the Ridley fight's going to go is Zeni's going to do 2 X Factors. Each X Factor deals 2,400 damage each. He's going to use all 20 Super Missiles, and Super Missiles deal, to Ridley specifically, they deal double damage. So they'll do 600 damage each. And then he's going to need another 12 charge shots in order to be able to finish Ridley off. And he should be able to do that just before his reserves activate. The other thing about this fight is basically if you take any hit from Ridley, you're probably going to die. With 2 energy tanks, it's possible, I think, to take a hit maybe from the... oh wow, that was a great fight. It might be possible to take a hit from the fireballs. Yeah. Yeah, see, normally it would be reversed in a run like this. It would take like a dozen tries for Ridley, but Lava Dive would be first try. But yeah, that was a really good Ridley fight, and you know has plenty of missiles to make it out. So that's the other nice thing about getting that that second reserve as well as the extra missile tank.
I totally did not mean to use those missiles, but we're okay because we had a bunch of extras. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, so in a regular run, how many missiles would you have leaving Ridley? Usually like 5, right?
I mean, it depends on how many I get farming before, but we're hoping for a minimum of 5, yeah. We need at least 10.
Yeah, like I said earlier, you need 10 missiles, 10 supers, 11 power bombs. And on the way out, you actually need 12 power bombs because you need to be able to break some power bomb blocks in the next room that Zeni's about to go through.
But we don't have that many, so we have to get some power bombs up here, which are referred to as PBs of shame. And the reason for that is because generally you only grab these if you absolutely have to in a run. And that's not just for reverse boss order, that's for most runs.
Yeah, well, in most runs other than this one, you only need to get them if you make a pretty stupid mistake. But in this run, it just, you know, if you get unlucky, you know, you kind of just need to grab them. So it's less shameful in this run, but...
You also grab them in 100%, obviously.
Yeah. And in 100%, I guess they're not shameful at all. So yeah, here's another place where Screw Attack just makes life so much easier. Yeah, waiting for a sec to get down to 50 energy, because he's going to do another Shine Spark right here, or another Crystal Flash right here. But yeah, screw attack just tears through these key hunters. All right, so there was another spike suit. This one is used in the in I think your world record definitely has this.
Yeah, it does.
This Zeni's going to be carrying this this spike suit all the way to Meridia and through most of Meridia, in fact. Like I said, moving with oh no, moving with a spike suit. Again, the movement is very specific. You have to be holding angled down if you're going to be jumping straight up. Otherwise, you should be doing spin jumps. And there's some quirks to it as underwater as well. But basically, Zeni's going to have to navigate all the way through Meridia and then fight Botwoon with it. And then he'll be able to get to use it immediately after Botwoon to save a lot of time doing morphs and trying to get through that room.
Also,
So,
if you press,
just keep that in the back of your mind.
if you press R or up in a spin jump, that will also use the spike suit. So. So right here we needed full super missiles, but we're also getting extra health. Just because there are a couple points where it could get kind of scary if I didn't have enough health. So.
Yeah, and those frogs drop almost guaranteed drop a power bomb, so it's nice to farm those. Specifically when you need power bombs.
So coming up, we're going to be doing a lot of suitless movement underwater, and what that means is that Samus moves very slowly and has some quirky physics. In addition to that, because I have a spike suit, I'm doing some very specific movement here to get through this. So.
Yeah, one thing I'll mention now is there's an interesting thing in this game where if you jump in a crouch, you actually jump 8 pixels higher than you would otherwise. So Zeni's going to use that at one point here in order to be able to make it through here.
So we missed a window to do a fast strat there. So I'm doing a slower strat.
Oh, I actually didn't know you had that it could just be you could just back it up like this. That's cool. So there was a crouch jump, and there should be another one coming up here. Yep. Also, aiming down allows Samus to raise her hitbox just a little bit, and that, in addition to a crouch jump, can allow you to get to places that you might not be able to otherwise.
Underwater, if you're holding shoot, you won't use a spike suit even if you jump straight. It's actually something that I discovered. I'm not sure why that is, but works whether you have grapple or you're charging a beam or whatever, so that's kind of nice.
So would you say the hardest part of carrying this spike suit is dealing with Botwoon with it on?
No, if I had to identify hardest part, it'd probably be just general movement in Meridia.
Okay, so like in Main Street.
Yeah, like Main Street, which we just got through.
Mm-hmm.
The Botwoon fight was kind of hard to learn with it, but now that I've learned it, it's just kind of how it is. It's, choreographed.
Alright, so let's hope Botwoon gives us a good pattern. Oh, nice. Nicely done.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough super missiles here. Well, actually, we do because of our extra missile pack. So we're going to be able to move on here. But if we didn't have the extra missile pack, we'd have to go back and farm or risk wasting a lot of time here. So I just used that spike suit to break through those blocks right there, which saves a bunch of time. Those are speed blocks, so normally you wouldn't be able to break through them at all without gravity suit, because you can't activate speed booster underwater without gravity suit. So there's a morph ball maze. Hang on. Okay, yeah, we're good. Had to think about that. There's a morph ball maze that you have to go through normally, but again, that's one of the things that I just kind of thought of when I was figuring out this route. So I figured out, you know, you can carry a spike suit through to there, and it saves about a minute if you manage to pull it off. So
here's another weird glitch that's about to happen. Is Zeni's going to do a crystal flash and then get grabbed by Dragon. By doing that, it'll actually give Zeni, it'll give you blue suit.
The equivalent of a spike suit.
Oh, a spike suit? Okay.
Or we die.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
So that's completely RNG right there. Which is why we have safety saves.
Yeah, so when you're in the middle of a crystal flash, Samus doesn't get any invincibility frames. So basically, even the weakest enemies can still kill you in if you're doing a crystal flash. And what happened there was Dragon just gave you a really bad... Yeah. Dragon didn't give any goops towards Zeni, basically, and that means that Dragon didn't pick him up.
I can't wait for that to happen at GDQ. It's going to be wonderful. The likelihood of that happening is very, very small. So, just another one of those marathon luck things.
Oh, great. Swoops.
Alright, we're good.
That's another thing about Dragon, is you can just lose time due to Dragon swooping.
Yeah, sometimes you'll just swoop back and forth and you can lose a lot of time.
What's the craziest that you've seen in one of your runs? Because I know that someone's been able to get
I made a highlight
14 swoops in a row.
Pretty recently. It was like 16 plus or something.
Oh, jeez.
It's ridiculous. It was one of my first runs back to RBO, if I remember correctly. We weren't on like pace, like world record pace or anything, but she just decided to swoop like a million times.
Alright, so now we have Space Jump. Space Jump allows you to jump over and over in the air, basically.
This is a grapple jump right here. We didn't actually explain grapple jumps.
Oh, yeah.
But basically what happens is, for some reason, if you morph and then unmorph while Samus is moving upward after a grapple, the game will allow her to jump, even though she's not on the ground. So you can use that to get through some areas that you otherwise wouldn't be able to underwater, suitless. That particular grapple jump coming out of Dragon's lair is pretty specific. And then right after that, I used a Shine Spark from the Crystal Flash that I got grabbed by Dragon during to get out of out of the water right there. That is the only it's the only part of the run that requires a glitch to complete.
Yeah, everything else in this run you could almost say is intended, or that the developers at least left room for it to be possible. But just because of that one spot, that's a glitch that probably wasn't intended by them. So
Samus actually, if I remember correctly, is like 1 pixel short of being able to wall jump out of there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually possible on the PAL version of the game, but not in NTSC.
Didn't know that, actually. Alright, so there's some debate about you picking up Plasma, wasn't there? And you timed it?
Yeah, there was. Plasma is very powerful as a beam. It's strong enough that it actually cuts enough time off of the Mother Brain fight to save time, despite coming to get it and doing slower movement.
Yeah, it takes
so
optimally it takes 60 frames to charge up a charge beam shot. Assuming you're perfect. So in order to beat Mother Brain with Spazer, Ice Wave Spazer, you'd have to do 60 shots to kill Mother Brain. When you have Plasma Beam, it only takes 20, just because Plasma deals 3 times the damage. So that cuts 40 seconds off. So now we basically have the 2 hardest bosses out of the way. That was Ridley and Dragon. Next up is going to be Phantoon.
Which is notorious for trolling runners.
Yeah. Phantoon will give you the best patterns on the worst paces and the worst patterns on the best paces. Phantoon's patterns, basically there's 3 different patterns that he can give you: a slow, a mid, and a fast pattern. The difference is something like 12 seconds between a slow and a fast pattern, or 11 seconds. So you can actually lose a decent amount of time just because of luck for Phantoon.
Yeah,
but
fortunately, slow is like 20 seconds difference.
Yeah. But fortunately in this, you don't have to worry about doing any crazy techniques like X-factoring or Dopplering. Uh-oh.
We're fine.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
We're just going slow. Got to give more time for people to meet the incentive to kill the animals.
Exactly.
It's
Planned.
all intended. So we're actually not supposed to enter wrecked ship from this side. But, gotta go fast, so.
I mean, you're also not supposed to be able to fight Ridley first. Or something like that. Or so I was told.
Yeah, there's a door that when you come out of it, is actually gray. Because the developers didn't intend for you to be able to go through that part of wrecked ship yet. Until Phantoon is dead.
Yeah, so Zeni's just going to use a couple of charged plasma shots on Dragon here, and finish up this fight fairly quickly. Phantoon. I don't know, they all blur together at some point. Oh. Yeah, whenever you get hit, Samus just aims forward. It's kind of annoying to deal with sometimes, especially during this fight. Yeah, slow fast, it's about average, right?
Yeah.
A little bit better, maybe. I don't know. I know
the most common pattern is slow.
Yeah, I know first round is 50% chance of getting a slow, and second round it depends on whether it's left or right, but it's still like around 50% chance of getting slow. So. Nice space jumps.
Screwed that up like usual.
Ooh.
It's okay. So now we're on our way to Kraid. Like Kano mentioned earlier, he's usually the first boss that you fight. He doesn't pose much of a threat, but you can lose a lot of time on him if you miss the quick kill.
Yeah, so there's a quick kill. Kraid has 1,000 health. If you shoot a missile and 3 supers in the right way, you're able to kill him without him standing up. If he stands up, it just wastes a lot of time. We hate wasting time. Oh, and we also should mention, I think I was saying this before, but Zeni's not going to be picking up any suits, in fact. By the time you kill these bosses, you have enough energy tanks to be able to survive pretty much everything in the game. The suits give you a couple of different things. They give you, on one hand, they give you a couple of like utility type things. For Varia suit, it gives you protection against heat, and for Gravity suit, it lets you run underwater. Or move normally underwater for the most part. But you know, Zeni's already gone through the area that has heat and the area that has water. So the other things that those suits give you is protection from damage from enemies. Each one gives you, what is it, 25% reduction in damage?
The suits?
Yeah.
I think it's half. No, it's not half. I don't know. Stop making me think about this.
But basically, Zeni has enough energy tanks to be able to survive the Mother Brain fight, as well as get a glitch called Stand-Up Glitch, without even needing those suits. So yeah, now that Kraid's dead, we're on our way to Mother Brain. Finish this run off. Oh, so yeah, someone in chat pointed out that Varia reduces damage by half, by 50%, and then Gravity reduces it by 75%.
Okay.
So yeah, like half again, basically.
Half again.
And just a little update for y'all. We're at 199 for kill the animals and 452 for save the animals. So we got a little bit of time left if you do want to kill those animals and get some donations in.
Yeah, if you wanna snipe to help us kill the animals, now's the time. Nice red tower, Zeni.
Thank you. I spent like half an hour practicing it earlier today. I lost something like 12 seconds in the world record in that one room back there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a running gag at this point.
Oops. I believe the standard for the donations to save or kill the animals is when Mother Brain's head hits the ground after she is dead, so that people are aware. So don't wait too long. to snipe. If that's your plan.
Yeah, Zeni's going to be entering Torian very soon, so...
Alright.
So, Torian is basically... Oh wow, that was an interesting landing on the mushroom there. I haven't seen that. Torian is basically... cutscenes and Metroids, and then Baby Metroid and Mother Brain. Pretty much all of it, but it's quite a long segment, so... So now we get to wait and watch this beautiful statue sink down into the ground. So yeah, like I was saying, Torian has basically you have 4 rooms of Metroids that you have to kill all the Metroids in order to progress. After that, you have the Baby Metroid, and Zeni's going to be going for Baby Skip, like pretty much every other runner does. And hopefully Zeni will be able to get enough energy from the Metroids here to be able to just skip doing an energy refill.
Yeah, we're pretty low, so
yeah,
might not be able to.
It's fairly low energy, but you never know. Alright, not bad so far. Maybe you get just enough?
Yep, we're good.
Nice. So, do you know what the minimum amount of energy you need for stand-up glitches?
So you need 701, I think, for the glitch. But going into the room, you need more
you're gonna
than
need
that because you have to take damage from the Rinka to do Zeb Skip.
Yeah, so that'd be another 10 energy, at
I think
least.
they do like 40 damage.
Oh, because you don't have the suit. Yeah, because it's. I'm so used to thinking in terms of any percent. We have both suits, so yeah, it would be 40 damage. Nice baby skip.
Thank you.
Oh no.
I mean, why would it work first try, you know?
Of course. Actually, I should explain that. So, Zeni has to do a specific type of Zeb Skip. Zeb Skip is just getting through that barrier at the front. Normally, you can get through them by using a bunch of ammo, but I don't think Zeni even has enough ammo at this point to be able to get through them.
No, we'd have to do a bunch of refills.
Yeah, you need to do a bunch of refills, and it's slow. So you can basically clip through them a certain way. But because Zeni has Screw Attack, he has one of 2 options. He can either pause in order to turn it off, which is what some people will do. But the faster method is to do a down-back Zeb Skip. A down-back is a certain type of movement technique in Super Metroid where it allows you to move forward, but you're pushing backwards on the D-pad. It's kind of odd unless you do it yourself, and it's hard to explain. But that's the only way that he's able to do the Zeb Skip without killing the Rinkas that he's trying to land on. So. Or that he's actually trying to take damage from.
Yeah, and Screw Attack also resets your iframes. So even if it didn't kill stuff, the reason you can get through the Zeb is because of iframes. And so every time you would try to jump to get through it, Screw Attack would reset your iframe and you wouldn't be able to.
Alright, so Zeni just did a stand-up glitch. basically, it allows him to continue moving, even though he's supposed to be on the ground waiting for the baby Metroid to come refill him. And that'll allow him to damage down Mother Brain earlier than you'd normally be able to, and it makes the third phase of the Mother Brain fight just go a lot faster. A good stand-up glitch means that he only has to shoot Mother Brain once with the final beam, the rainbow beam.
Come on.
Nice. So yeah, how much time does that save?
A lot.
Yeah, it's
I want to say it's like 30 seconds or so. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so if you have if you don't have quite enough energy to do it, you can still get through and survive, but yeah, you want to save. That's a pretty
Alright,
big
so
chunk of time.
are we saving the animals?
We are saving the animals. Yeah, a couple of last-minute donations in there with the bits I saw, but still a significant lead for that.
All right. The animals escaped this time. I expect all of you to make up for that by donating at GDQ. Just gotta get off this exploding planet. No big deal.
And that's reverse boss order.
GG.
Thanks, everybody. So we finished 6 minutes and 43 seconds behind pace. Roughly, let me look at this. We lost about 4.5 minutes to dying at Lava Dive. So
Wow, that's a pretty good run then.
yeah, and then we lost another minute or so at Dragon. Maybe 2 minutes.
That was a really good relief fight, and pretty clean movement all around.
Why does Samus blow up every planet she visits? Because she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no planets. Hey, thanks, Ceriam. Thanks for the GGs.
Yeah, so how many other people are running this route that you know of?
This route,
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's run it so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hopeful
I know that there are other people who have done-
pick it up, but there are a lot of people that don't want to bother with Moondance.
There are other people who have done a single Norfair visit before, right? But not quite.
Yes, so
In this way.
Zost had the previous world record. It was a 103.31, I think, or something like that. And he did a single Norfair visit with 2 reserve tanks. Stravaris, I think, also did a single Norfair run, but he only had 1 reserve, but he had something else, like another energy tank or something to compensate for it.
Okay.
So
yeah, if you guys want to see more of this particular route, you got pretty much one option here. So he's cornered the market. He's got a monopoly.
yeah, I'm running it a lot right now to try and prep for GDQ. Got about a month and a half before I'm doing that, so. So yeah, Tex is mentioning that Stray tried to do runs skipping Golden Torizo. And I think he was at least Deer Force. He was at least looking into skipping Screw Attack. I've done that too, but what I've come to find is that in order to survive the Ridley fight with that kind of a loadout, you'd have to compensate for it with a bunch of other missiles. So it's not really worth trying to skip those. Man, these sub-bombs. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Duck L1N6. You'd a real MVP. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck with the rest of the charity marathon.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for running Zeni, and Kano, thanks for your additional commentary as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.